What's up, YouTube? Before we get into it, I want to talk about pseudo-productivity and psychology in the gym. It is work that looks productive, feels productive, sounds productive, but again, it's a false sense of productivity. In the gym, this is just busy work that makes you feel tired without actually putting in any good results. Work that feels efficient, but is literally not efficient. It just builds false confidence without results. And here is one phrase that I like to use when I talk about this subject. Effort that does not accumulate. It's just movement without purpose. Let that sit, because this is where most people get uncomfortable. They do not have the ability or the accountability to sit there and go, maybe this is not the most efficient strat. We gotta remember, the gym does not reward activity, it rewards accumulation of reps in good habits and putting stress onto your body that your body can adapt to. And that is what this video is going to be about: spotting pseudo-psychology, pseudo-productivity in the gym. That way you can get rid of those nasty habits and now put in habits that not only nourish, but accumulate your gym progress to maximum potential. And before we continue, real quick apologies, my guys. My eye is like really red and bothering me right now. The kid in me is saying, yeah, you're finally unlocking your sharding gun. And then the adult in me is just like, nah, you're just dying. But don't mind me, let's get into it. But once you understand pseudo-productivity, you literally start seeing it everywhere, in how people choose their weights, in how they set up their reps, their sets, how they change their programs, like how often they change their programs, and also as well as the supplements that they consume, as well as like pre-workout and things like that. Let's go ahead and start with number one. This is your sets, your reps, and moving without purpose. The first mistake that it comes to with sets and reps is randomization. People need to understand that there's a mechanical tension that needs to be applied long enough for the movement to truly matter. And let's talk about your 1 rep max real quick. Your 1 rep max is the heaviest that you can lift with good form one single time. No momentum, no spotter, no second attempt. Your single best rep. And research shows that muscle growth responds best when you're around 70 to 85% of your 1 rep max. This usually puts you into the 6 to 12 rep zone. That is the best for maximum time and load under tension. Now let's talk about the physiological changes real quick. That is how your body responds to functions internally. Muscle contraction, nervous system response, tension detection, adaptation signals within the body. Muscle does not grow because you're able to move the weight from point A to point B. Muscle grows the best when it is under meaningful stress. This is where momentum becomes a serious threat, because if the weight is lifted up for about a second, you're not putting any time under tension for your muscle to respond and be under that load, your body's not gonna get the message. You gotta put that muscle under tension for your body to understand, okay, I need to adapt now. This is where you get some guys on Instagram, on TikTok who go, this is what real lifting looks like after 5 years. And like their body has barely changed. It's because they've been lifting wrong. They're not lifting with a load. They're not lifting under tension. They're literally just moving weight around. You throwing momentum, throwing their body without purpose. That's not how you build muscle mass or real strength. On to the next, ego lifting. And I know we've all seen ego lifters, but there's a common misconception. It's not just about lifting heavy, it's about lifting heavy without control. So according to my studies, it shows that risk to injury increases by about 40 to 60% when your form or your technique breaks down under load, especially on compound lifts. I like to say ugly reps aren't always unsafe, but unsafe reps are always ugly. Let that sit. Control is the key factor. If you can stabilize the weight, maintain alignment, and finish deliberately, that is what builds strength. If the weight now has to drive you into position during the workout, you're gambling. I like to say strength without control is borrowed confidence, and that borrowed confidence will eventually be collected. Yes, it will. On to the next. Pre-workout and supplements. Pre-workout does not fix weak training. It just makes weak training feel intense. Think about it. If pre-workout and or supplements is doing all the work for you, your foundation is just simply missing. You are missing your strat. We have to emphasize the dependence on said things here. The dependence on pre-workout, on supplements. Studies show that when you are dependent on said things, your performance can drop by 40 to 60% in a couple of weeks, just due to the tolerance of it being in your system. The thing that at one point gave you energy now brings you back to a baseline because you did not develop a strategy. You did not have that discipline in the first place. But like, let's be realistic, because I myself am someone who does use supplements, who does use pre-workout, but it is definitely best to use them in cycles. It'll even say that on some of the bottles, right? Like you want to use it in cycles because you don't want to depend on said things. You need to have a strategy for how you apply certain things to your workout, to your life, to maximize results. What people also have to realize is supplements are just a support item. They're not going to replace your diet, your main intake of food and source and calories. They're not going to be replacing anything that you can regain from sleep, structure, and again, food itself. And on to the next, we are going to be talking about mobility and longevity. This is where your boy, LeBron James, strives. Now, me personally, when I go to the gym, I like to do at least a couple of different sports a week, maybe only like twice a week, because I do like to train seriously hard. I do want extreme muscle mass built at the end of the day. But some activities that I like to do, some gymnastics, I just practice some tricking setups, some kicks, maybe even hit up the boxing bag. But I do like to play basketball, as you can see. I also like to do some racquetball as well. Anything that just gets the body moving. I do highly recommend it. It is seriously advantageous to anyone who not only wants to build that strength or look bigger, but also still have mobility and be athletic at the same time. It is quintessential. I cannot stress that enough. And studies show that over 50% of gym goers do not include any type of mobility almost in entirety. Like, despite evidence of the increasing range of motion, reduced injury, and it just provides better long-term consistency, I don't see why you wouldn't do it. But there are plenty of people, again, over 50%, who actually don't. But I stress this because we gotta understand muscles and joints are different, right? Your muscles can adapt fast, whereas your joints can't. And one thing that I do take for joints, and I honestly started more recently, is collagen. Again, a supplement is not to replace what you're already putting into your body, but it is only support. So although I'm taking it in addition to what I am already extracting from my food and everything else. But to an endpoint, we gotta realize that mobility also isn't just flexibility. Some people get that confused. It's just honestly about being able to stay usable long enough for your progress to stack. That's pretty much just it. Like, you don't want to be built, but have no access to your longevity in the long run. That would really suck. On to the next, cardio and fat loss. Running alone does not automatically mean loss of fat. We have to understand fat loss only happens when calories coming in is lesser than calories going out. That is the only way to lose fat. What I recommend actually helps is incline walking, but slowly. It burns calories, it has less stress joint, lower recovery costs, and ultimately just increases endurance in general. You cannot outrun a bad diet, but you cannot also outrun inconsistency. So don't think that going on a run every couple of days to balance out how many calories you've been taking in is going to be your solution. You need to have a disciplined strategy. You need to understand that maybe incline walking at a slower pace is going to be better, but doing that every day consistently. If you want to have this calorie deficit and have a plan and make things work out, you got to be able to plan properly. Planning properly is going to take you leaps above just going on a run when you feel like you need to burn calories. All right, now on to the next. And I promise you, I am guilty as charged for this one, because this is lower body training or having an upper body bias, which I definitely have. But I definitely wanted to emphasize this in the video because I myself have gotten into lower body training as of recently, at least a lot more now than I ever have in my life, because I had an MCL tear at one point in my life. And it brought me to a point where I kind of only wanted to train upper body. And I was like, as long as my upper body looks good, like nothing else really matters. But I wanted to actually do research, back it up with facts as to why this is actually important and not just give you my own bias. Because at the end of the day, lower body actually does support a lot more total muscle mass functioning than just training upper body itself. But training lower body overall is greater systemic strength, stronger neural adaptation, and just better overall capacity due to the fact that it trains more of the body in totality compared to just upper body. And again, a lot of people have this problem with training lower body because it's an ego thing. It's not instant gratification, right? Like when you train upper body, you have that bias. Like you have that instant gratification to feed your ego. Whereas lower body, I promise you, is definitely a long-term play. So add that to the strat and let's see things pay out for yourself and me too, because I need it. I promise that I don't do legs enough and I need to get on it. On to the next. We got program hopping and resetting progress. This is just people who are hopping from program to program. This is not optimizing their strategy at all. It's actually resetting their progress, and this is a terrible thing to do. And this is a serious problem, especially for people who are pursuing hypertrophy, because studies show that the most meaningful changes occur between 6 to 12 week blocks of consistent stimulus in the body. Your nervous system, your muscles, your connective tissue all adapt at different speeds. When you change the stimulus too early, you are signaling a reset. Program hopping is like restarting this tutorial every week and wondering why you never level up. It's like playing a Souls-like video game, and you play a couple of minutes and die and restart, and play a couple minutes and die and restart. You are making no progress. Like opening a book, reading the first chapter and stopping, and then reading the first chapter again the next week and stopping. I hope me putting it that literally is like helping you understand like how switching things up can hurt your progress. So to wrap things up, we gotta understand that a lot of these habits aren't really necessarily intentional, but they are popular and they need to be rid of. So just food for thought. Next time you do something, whether you're taking a supplement, whether you're doing your pre-workout, whether you're doing a rep or a motion, ask yourself, is this building something? Or is this just movement without purpose? Think about it, because at the end of the day, working out, being in the gym is, I would say, a longevity thing. Like, I do this in mind that years from now, for the entirety of my life, I'm going to be in good shape and look good. So I gotta start applying certain principles now so that way I'm as efficient as possible till I die. Like, that's just how I view it. All right, everyone, thank you for watching this video today. I myself am going to aim to be a lot less pseudo-productive this year. I'm going to maximize myself. I feel like this is a good year for me. I really want to get out there, get strong, build my legs. I want to do all the things I was talking about in this video positively. All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a good one.